Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to look at arrays in C#. Arrays are collections of items stored in adjacent memory locations. These locations have a unique identifier, a unique number, which is called an index. Index starts from 0. In some languages, all items must be of the same type. For example, an array must be all of type integer, or float, or char, or string, or objects types, like C# and Java, which are called strong type languages. In some languages, the items could be of heterogeneous types of an array. For example, in an array you can store like number, string, boolean, false, true, or maybe you can store any round numbers or fraction numbers. These kind of languages are called loose type languages, for example, JavaScript. Anyhow, our focus will be on C#, which is a strong type language. In C#, there are a number of different types of arrays, but we're going to focus only on two types: one-dimensional, or which is called a single-dimensional array, and two-dimensional array. So we're going to first look at one-dimensional array. A one-dimensional array is something which contains a single row or a single column. That is called a one-dimensional or single-dimensional array. And the declaration is like this: int, then bracket, numbers, which is the name of the array, and then these values are stored in this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the array starts from 0. This is another way of declaration: int numbers equal to new int 10. So this will create a blank array in computer memory for 10 items of type integer. If you want to make an array of char, just change this int with char, with string, with class types, with float, whatever type you want to create. In arrays, we have some functions. These are quite popular functions that you can use in an array, which is length, find the length of the array, sort items in an array, sum numbers in an array, and find minimum and maximum numbers in an array. So let's go to Visual Studio and create some program where we can apply these functions to an array and print the array items using for and for each loop. So I'm opening my Visual Studio. So I'm going to create a new project. Let's do it one by so give it one name, one-dimensional array. Right. So that's our project name. This one. Let's create an array. Okay, I will just type here one dimensional in C#. So let's create an array. Int of type integer, numbers equal to, right, let's create some numbers. I want to create an array of different numbers type where they are in random order. So we can apply some sorting and other functions that I mentioned in my slide. So this is an array, which is some items here, as you can see. So as I mentioned, that all the items are stored as by index 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to print, let's say, a specific item, let's say numbers, let's say I want to print this one 44. So this is location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is location, like if you count it, generally it looks like first, second, third, fourth, and fifth item. But because the index starts from 0, so this index is 4. So if I want to print 44, then I have to pass the index as 4. So there are two things I'm doing now. I want to print the length of the array. And from this code, I want to print the fifth item of the array. Okay, let me write quickly in console.read key just to hold the screen. So let's run our code now. Right, let's see what is on the screen. So it prints, as you can see on the screen here, right, one-dimensional array, that one, line number 10. And then how many items we have in this array? 10. 10 items are printed. What is the location? What is that location 4 in this array? Is 44. So as you can see, our items are printed. Now let's use a loop to print all the items of the array. So let's use a for loop first. Look at the intelligence, it's just amazing. It makes our life a lot easier. Look, in the whole code is written here. Let me explain it. So for int I equal to 0, so we start with the first position. If you start with 1, then it will not print 23. Okay, for example, let's start with 1. If I do that, okay, I is less than numbers.length. What is numbers.length? 10. So it will print from 1 to 9 only. That means from 34 to 20. We excluded 23 because I started from 1 instead of 0. And what happened is, when it runs the first loop, the I value is 1, so it will be number 1. Which is number 1? 34 will be printed. And the next loop with increment, the I value will be 2, so it will print the 2 item, which is 55. And next loop, 3, which is 12, and so on. So let's have a look. By excluding that 0, what do we get on the screen? Okay, as you can see here, right, to distinguish it clearly, let's put a blank line here somewhere. Okay, right, so this is where loop starts from after this. As you can see here, the first item in our array is 23, but we got 34, 55, 12, and all of them. So what happened? We missed out the first one. So we have to start our array from 0. So add 0, and now run it, and you will get all the items here on the screen, as you can see, 23, 34, all the way up to the last item, which is 20, printed here on the screen. So this is how to create a one-dimensional array, and this is how to print the length of the array. And if you're printing a specific one like 2, 3, 4, 0, 10, well, if you're 10th you're printing, you have to put 9 here. And this is a for loop, how to print these items on the screen. There's another way that you can print these items using for each loop. So let's say print using for each loop. This is the loop which I explained in my previous tutorial when I was explaining loops. So for each int I, okay, right, so let me put this a little bit in my order, the way I like it. Okay, like this. Okay, so let me explain what's happening here. So for each int I in numbers, what is the name of the array? Numbers. So this loop, it will take I as a temporary variable. It will go to numbers, get the first item in I, and print it. In the next loop, it will go to the next item, get it, store it in I, and print it. This I could be anything, I, J, K, L, and whatever you want to do. Let's say I want to make it as X. So this is a temporary variable. You can call it anything. So because I changed here, so I have to change it in this print statement. So again, X will take the first item, print it. Then X will go to the next item in the next loop, and so on. Let's run it. You see, this is using the for each loop. Okay. Let's apply some of those functions that I mentioned in the slide. Let's say I want to sort these items. So what if I just write here, okay, so I want to sort this array because when I print it, they are not in order. As you can see here on the screen, they are just those random numbers. Right, to sort them in order, I have built-in function called array, this dot sort, which I show you in the slide. And array dot sort, this is the function which belongs to this class. And inside this parenthesis, I have to pass the name of the array. So to sort the array. Okay. So when I'm sorting this using this statement, this print with a for loop or for each loop, they will print automatically the sorted array of these numbers. So let's have a look. Right, you see that 12, 20, 23. So this is the for loop and this is the for each loop. All of them, they printed them nicely in order now. Okay, now I'm trying to print the minimum number of this array. So for that, what is the name of the array? Numbers.min. So it should print me the smallest item in the array. So just put this here. Say the smallest item in array. And with concatenation operator. So let's see what I get from this, the last line of the code. So the smallest item in array is 12. Okay, what if I want to get the largest item from the array? So to get the largest item from the array, or the maximum number, well, you can call it item or number, then you can just simply change this min to max. And when I print it, it should print me the minimum and the maximum number in the array, as you can see here. Okay, now what if I want to sum all the numbers of this array, all the numbers I want to add them? You can do it manually as well by running the loop and sum all these numbers in the loop. But there's a built-in function available, so why don't we use that one? Say CW tab. You can say the sum of all numbers, and here you can write here what is the name of the array? Numbers.sum. Right, so this one, it will sum all the numbers of the array. As you can see here, we sorted the array using the sort function. We found the smallest minimum number, a maximum number, and we summed all the numbers, and the result is 4, 5, 6. So these are the built-in functions associated with an array, like length, which find out the length of the array, the sorting function, the minimum, the maximum, the sum, and that's how a one-dimensional array works. I hope you understood one-dimensional array, and we're going to look at the two-dimensional array in our next exercise. I hope you understood that. After that, can you try this task to create an array of your favorite movies, sort them alphabetically, and then print them on screen using for and for each loops? Thank you for watching.